Do we need that little recorder thing? Or
Yeah, here it comes. There, set it up there.
it's ready to go?
It's going.
Okay, thanks everybody for being here. Welcome you to our first meeting for, well, not our technical first meeting, but our second meeting for Summerfest 2020. So we just want to do, we'll hand the time over to Steven.
Well, we had two new committee members, and now one new committee member. So Shelly Seastrand, many of you may know Shelly.
Well, many may know Mark.
Many may know Mark. Yeah, the brains of the Seastrand operation is here with us tonight. So Shelly's husband has served on the city council for 16 years.
14.
14, sorry.
Yeah.
But he recently chose not to run and freed up the ability to put his wife on our commission. So it's a net positive to the city.
That way you give it up.
Yeah, it's a net positive. But Shelly, do you want to just kind of introduce yourself a little more and just kind of talk about your history and desire to serve? Just kind of like
I have a
Orem
desire
history.
to serve. I don't know what.
Grew up in Orem?
I'm a Provo girl.
Oh, Mark, okay.
But back then it was really cool to date Orem guys. And yeah, you know that.
Oh.
Trendy.
So I married Mark. I don't know. What do you want to know? Just ask.
Lived in the city, you've raised your family, you've been in the city
Yes, yes. We
And
lived
raised all
in
your
Provo
children
for
here.
3 years and then have been in Orem ever since. And Mark was raised here 14 years on the city council. You really, really, even though you start out loving Orem, you really, really, really love it.
Yeah.
So, and it is hard, and he's having a hard time kind of not being in the know of everything,
Yeah.
except that he works with Tom. So it helps.
Yep.
Anyway.
Well, we're really happy to have Shelly with us. We had another applicant, and he was approved by the city council. His name's Andres. I believe it's pronounced Weist.
Okay.
He's in a wheelchair, and there's just some challenges. And I think he underestimated how challenging it would be for him to get to these meetings regularly. Historically, he's volunteered to be one of our parade announcers. And so he emailed me this week saying, he can't transport himself. And it's just probably not going to work out. Could he still just do parade announcing, which he loves doing? So we'll release him from that, and we'll go out for one more Summerfest committee member. But his responsibilities are going to be the food eating competitions and the student marshals, which are things that we can keep those balls in the air while we're waiting. So appreciate Andres' willingness to serve, but understand the limitations and challenges that it was just going to take for him to be able to give what he felt like he needed to make this work. So that's it, and I don't think we have all the staff is returning this year, so that's all the introductions I have. Thanks, J.Teresa.
So do I just ask for an approval of minutes, Joe?
Sure. They were the October ones, which were the first ones to go onto YouTube, so you have to go and listen to them.
Oh. Okay.
Stephen might want to explain that again, since we have.
Yeah,
new ones.
so we used to record our meetings, send them to somebody to transcribe the minutes at a fee. We switched to all of our boards and commissions for one, transparency, and two, cost and ease. Ease for everybody but Jill, right? But sorry.
I'm still having a hard time with it.
But anyways, what we do now is we record these and then we put them onto a file and then put them on YouTube. And then we timestamp them so you can go to different parts of the meeting. So anyways, the whole recording is available to the public and available to you. And we no longer write up meeting minutes. So an adoption of the minutes is basically saying that the recording was accurate, which it was, I guess. So anyways, but that's how so there is no longer written meetings to adopt. We just would adopt the recording and just make it officially a public record.
Stephen, it should probably be pointed out that recordings have always been available, but they had to be requested. So
Yes.
everything we say has always been available, but now it's very easy for everyone to get. So, you know, if we get off topic or somebody says something that may be inappropriate, it's easier for people to hear. So,
So be careful.
we can't go and edit it. So, just so everyone knows that it's recording and it's always been available, but it's just really easy for everybody to get now.
Perfect.
Shouldn't be a concern, but we should make everyone aware of it.
Okay, thank you. So can we have an approval of the meeting minutes for October?
So somebody will make a motion, second, and then all in favor.
I'll make a motion. This is Kiersten.
This is Kat, I second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Any opposed?
Oh, sorry. Thanks, guys. Any opposed?
No.
Thank you. Okay, so our discussion about increasing the fees for the food trucks. Pete?
Well, we did it. No, we took the feedback that we got through the email, and we raised it to $700, and we've been getting tons of applications. No one has said boo about the $700, so we haven't received any complaints, and so we feel like it was probably the right move. And we also added the sponsorship at $2,000. I think we've had 5 or 6 say they wanted to do that. So we'll have to make some decisions, but overall, that change seems to be positive.
So does the $700 include the electricity, or is that?
The basic. It includes the basic electricity in the household. But
Is
it'll be an
the
extra
other still
75.
75?
Yes.
So there's a basic fee and then there's one additional fee.
Correct.
If they're using more than what we determine is a basic amount of electricity.
So basic is 75,
No, basic is free.
just free?
Yeah. Advanced, what we're calling advanced power is 75.
We're tossing in some power.
That's right.
And I think just, if I could, just as a reminder, part of the discussion was we had held 500 for a few years. Since then, we had added another day of Thursday for selling. And then this year, we're actually reducing the number of vendors for more space. And so those two things we felt made it justifiable and increasing to 700. And again, nobody has said anything about that. And like Pete mentioned, we have a $2,000 sponsorship this year, which we've never had. Of a $2,000 sponsorship guarantees you a spot, so you don't have to go into the lottery, basically. You get to choose a spot. Your preferred spot in the park, plus magazine ad at $2,000, and we've had already more interest than there are actually spots available.
So with the sponsor spot, though, their application is not a complete application. It's not a guaranteed spot for them. They
Correct.
still have to follow all
Yeah,
of the
they-
rules because of the health code and all of that.
Oh, yes.
And making sure that, so with the application, they have to send a picture of their setup and they have to send their menu. Their menu has to match what they put at the park. So they have to make sure that all of that is being followed in order for them to, so I'm still looking at that even if they say they're a sponsor, they still have to do it correctly so that we're following code when we're actually at Summerfest.
And at this point, nobody has actually paid money, so
Right.
nobody will pay the $2,000 unless they get selected
Yep.
as a sponsor.
Anything else, Pete?
I know that's it on that.
Okay. So I guess we'll go over to the committee member reports. I know, Shelly, you don't have anything for Orem's Got Talent because Shelly is new to the committee. But is there someone that can kind of explain to Shelly a little about Orem's Got Talent?
Yeah, so Orem's Got Talent is a fancy talent show, so that's all local people that perform. And
I have actually been to it.
Oh, that's right.
So I
You
know,
what it's all about.
yes,
Yeah.
In fact, it was leaving that event when I told Shelly you ought to consider serving on this. so-
yes, that
you were
is
so
true.
inspired by so you were so inspired by the previous event.
And Mark said, yes, she will, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Mark. Yeah. So basically, the job is to select. We go out and we get the applications, and then you select who you'd like in the show. We did 20 last year, and then you put the show together, and they do a quick little sound check right before, and then the show goes on. It'll be Friday. It'll be kind of the headline event, and it's always been popular. And last year I felt like it was quite good.
Yeah.
And I'm-
then, oh.
I was gonna say, and
Okay,
I'm happy
so-
to judge again. I just ask that you bring more than just young people.
Perfect.
What I mean by that, it was me and all the royalty. And
Right.
some of their preferences were a little
Yeah, and we
different.
So,
share
but
our lessons learned.
you get all the people?
Yeah, so we'll do all that through the website,
Okay,
and then people submit little videos of their performance, and then we'll hand those over to you, and you can decide.
and we pick
order and
20.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and then helping find an MC, judges, selecting the talent.
but I'll judge again.
Okay.
It's fun.
How many, well, I'll talk to somebody who knows
Yeah.
later.
I think you
Okay.
need at least 6 judges. Or even maybe an odd number if you want to, We usually rate them 1 to 10.
Tiebreaker sounds good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll work through some of those details with you later,
Okay.
but that's just kind of a brief.
She'll do great.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Ashlie with the keys.
All right. Do we have the application open? It's
I
not
need to
yet.
talk to you.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Just gonna agree.
No, is there anything you want to change?
Okay, yes, and this is what I'm getting at. 2 questions from me. We were gonna check to see if we had electricity enough to expand. We do not. Okay, so we will keep the 68 as follows. My other question is this. In the past, we've kind of just done the selection process and, trying to keep only 2 face paint and da-da-da-da. And in the past, it's been great. The only thing that has been a hiccup is people complaining year after year about the space that I give them, which, it comes with the territory. It is fine, it is what it is. However, my thoughts are this. There is so much interest in the prime spots, meaning the outer. Is it in our best interest to say they can pick a spot for $150 to get their prime spots instead of me assigning and getting the
It's the airline model.
and a lot yes and I've seen that done in other cities, and so it's not completely far-fetched of you can pick your spot for the prime spots or the inner spots or less expensive. I don't know if that's worth looking into, because I say it is, but what are your thoughts?
Great idea.
I think it sounds
I
Great
like
idea.
it.
Make
Yep.
more money.
Okay, yeah, and I was just then the only other thing is they still need to be approved, because I don't want 7 face painters picking, their spots and being like, oh, none of us can make money because we've got 7 people in here. So I don't know how logistically to work that out yet. Do we do the application process of you can pick your spot at this time, or that they can request a spot viewing, the map or whatnot beforehand?
Yeah.
So it may
Do you only want to charge them $25 more for those?
not necessarily. That was just
Uh-huh.
coming out. I just because if there is enough interest, there was no kickback on raising food vendors, so I don't know. And a lot of times when they're just like, oh, it's only $125, I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
Did I say 125?
Yeah, I know.
225.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
I think you'll get a lot of people that would pay more.
Yeah.
But you'll have to, I think, in fact, it wouldn't surprise me if most of them would be willing to do so.
Right.
And then you'd have to be ready to tell some no.
Right.
Sorry. So somehow in the application, you might ask, would you be willing to pay more for a prime spot?
Right.
And then you could get a list of those that you can assign to those prime spots.
Right.
And then tell the ones that said, yeah, sorry, we didn't have room for you.
Right.
You're getting the cheaper one.
Right.
here.
Right.
That's the way
I know. I
see it.
just so
You're
many.
gonna have to be really careful about first come, first serve on
Right.
those primes. So
Exactly.
as long as you follow that and, or
Yeah.
make sure you know who came and when.
See, and that's kind of like the idea of saying, we will open up the prime spots that you can pick your spots at this time, this day, and if we have enough emails going and that everybody's on, it may crash the system, but if everyone is on at 6 a.m. or something to get that, their spot.
Is there other criteria you could use to select them rather than first come, first serve?
I don't know.
If they took a picture of their booth and then you could get the more
And-
attractive ones?
Yeah,
they-
and I have most of.
And do you know who's good to work with, who's not good?
Yes.
Past experience.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I sure
Then
know.
that's obviously be considered,
Yeah,
so.
for sure. And the people that and I really honestly base that on when we tell them to shut down, they actually shut down.
Yeah.
And some people last year were not.
Disobedient.
Yeah, they were just not very nice.
Reward good
Like,
behavior.
We do not agree with your rules. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I'd shy away from first come, first serve and have other criteria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we can open up the application and see what kind of interest
Mhm.
there is. 'Cause that's essentially what we
Nobody's
kind of rolled the dice a little bit with the food vendors.
Right.
And it paid off, so we
Right.
can essentially do the same thing.
Okay.
What, what price are you thinking, Ashlie?
That's what I was just gonna say.
Is it 125 now?
Yes.
So-
I'd double it.
Yeah.
I'd double it.
Okay. Okay. What do you think, Kenna?
Well, I'm kind of wondering if on both of these, since we're a little struggling with food, the food thing, is what if we had two applications? So the first one is the vetting application. And on that vetting application, it says, are you interested in doing this? And then from that vetted application, and those that are interested, you send out a second application for something with criteria or whatever, and then you make that decision or whatever you guys
Right.
decide to do.
Well, and that's how we'll do it with the food vendors.
Right.
Is, this was just kind of the gathering of information,
Right.
gauging interest. And so, yeah, that's how it will be.
Yeah. So do we raise the inner and then like to 150 and then do the outers at 200? Is that too much?
No.
Why don't we go?
Still
No.
125 and then you have 1,500.
Okay.
That's what I would
So
say.
you do it.
I mean, if you've got people
Inside's
that
still the
want
same.
those outside spots, they'd be willing to pay for
And
them.
that's another way to help judge who gets in.
Yeah.
I think it's like, okay, if you're willing to pay the more,
Right,
higher
right.
amount, you're serious about this.
And I think the bigger the difference, the easier it's going to be for, because if it's only a difference of $25,
Yeah.
most everybody will jump to
Right.
that higher
That's
amount.
what I'm
Okay,
worried of.
all right.
So a bigger gap probably helps you.
Okay.
And if everybody does it, you'll know that you need to raise it next year.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's what it comes
Yeah,
down to.
only
I mean, the
200.
millions of applications. I mean, I've got 2018's here, I've got 2019's here. Like, I know who we're
Well,
working
people
with.
are clamoring already, I get emails every day.
Oh yeah, I'm getting calls already. It's not open. It's not open. I was like, I know. I'll get back to you.
Well, and I saw the Facebook post too about, they were like,
Yeah.
yeah, the booze.
I had a cousin just a year ago, I don't know what we charged, but he said, we love Orem.
Yeah.
It's so cheap to go
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And
And it is.
We charge more than what we used to, but.
And it is. It is. And again, I was comparing with other cities, and it really is. My other question is this: I've been really strict about I'm trying to get the diverse groups, so I have not let the two people have two booths. But man, oh man, I get lots of kickback from that too. Do
Yeah,
I?
That was ugly last year.
Oh, it's really ugly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they can select the two spots or.
Triple that, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
additional premium,
You want to
honestly.
double your.
Well, with the food vendors, some of them want 2 spots.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of, like, I have to pick how many vendors I'm allowed to have
Right.
2 spots.
Right.
And the rest I have to tell them.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that they know that I can't have so many 2-spotted
Right.
people because I need a variety.
Okay.
So.
All right. All right. I think any other feedback for me then? We'll get together to make sure that we're on the same page, and then we'll go from there. But any other feedback for me? No? We're good?
Okay.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, thank you, Ashlie. Okay, so I have food vendors. We had our discussion about food vendors. That was the biggest thing with the price increase. Applications opened in the beginning of this month, so I've already got a lot that have flooded through. I haven't really looked at them, but I have them in a nice little folder just sitting there waiting for me. I'm pretty sure the application deadline that we picked was in March.
March 20.
There we go. So they'll keep flooding in. I just had a few questions about sponsorship, but one vendor called about it. I just had them redo their application and say they want it to be a sponsor, but I will keep their time frame from the first application, to be fair. But yeah, other than that, we've had a lot come through and it's been great. We had a little hiccup in the beginning, but Pete was quick to fix it and we're all good to go. Okay, Sallie.
Okay, so the children's crafts, entertainment. Well, I'm thinking a lot of the same that we had last year. Scales and Tales talked with them, they're on board, they're on the schedule. The question with that is, last year we had them do that display, that large reptile display. We did that for 2 days. It was an additional $2,600, $1,300 for each day. People really loved it. So I'm tempted to just include that in with this year, and then if it's too pricey, unless you think that we just shouldn't, it's just too costly to do.
This is Liz. I say do it. My kids were enthralled.
Yeah,
My
this is
grandkids loved
Kat. My kids loved it too.
Yeah, my grandkids thought it was
And it
great.
was shaded, so it was nice to get out of the sun for a brief second.
Do you think we get the same bang for our buck back-to-back years? I think it'd be just as exciting the second year.
I think
it would.
My kids went
It's
like
2 years.
over
3 years.
and over and over in 1 weekend.
It's like going to the zoo. I mean, you see the zoo once a year, you're good.
Yeah.
They'll start expecting it.
They probably
There's
will.
a couple spots, there's a couple like rain, times when it rained a little bit, and it was really popular then especially too. But I think the escape from the sun and, just a lot of people could participate in that at one time. So that was nice.
From a budgetary standpoint, I'll report later, but essentially, we're going to follow what we did last year, so it should fit in fine, plus with the extra money that we're getting from food vendors, and assuming sponsorships levels stay the same, but at this point, I think there shouldn't be a budgetary concern, because we did it last year.
Okay, to go with the large reptiles again, or try the birds? I mean, I still lean to the reptiles myself, but, okay. All right, very good. And then, I mean, we'll have face painting. That's the one thing that the lines get long, you've taken your kids in them. But I don't want to be in competition with those who come and pay for the boutiques. So we've had 2 face painters in the past. The lines do get long. Sometimes they wait for half an hour, if not a little bit longer. So should we just stay with the 2 and let them wait so we're not in competition, or
Is
do
there
you think
something
we ought to
else
have a
that we
few
can
more?
like fill that spot, like hair
Well, there are other things going on at the same time.
or something like they can? That's. I'm trying to think of the things that
We
we
did
do as.
at a different event, our Harvest Festival, we did airbrush tattoos, which were really popular too.
And fast.
See, and we have
And
one of
fast.
those.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
So it's just
our-
hard because I don't want them competing. I don't
I
want
know, and that's,
my
I
face
want to be
painters not to
sensitive.
get business. They
Sally,
struggled last year.
Remind me, are your face painters Thursday?
Well,
Oh, they
last
were
year,
different.
we did Thursday and Saturday.
Oh, okay.
We did.
Because I wouldn't mind the Thursday.
Because the
Didn't we?
boutiques
We're
aren't
not
set
open.
up.
I don't know that we did Saturday actually.
Oh, maybe I'm
Maybe
remembering
we only
wrong.
did Thursday, which
That's
I'm
right.
totally fine
That's right,
with
because
that.
Thursday was our family day.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the boutiques aren't set up yet.
Yeah.
I
and
do
I'm
Thursday,
totally
but I
fine
get
with that.
4.
Okay,
4
so
face
if the
painters.
boutiques aren't going to be set up that
Then
day,
that's fine.
we're good with that? Doing 4 for that day?
I'd get 4,
Okay.
yeah.
I think
Okay.
that sounds good.
All right. And so is that kind of the same setup? We're thinking, I mean, is Thursday going to be a family day again?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, very good. And then the balloon, having the balloon tires, Paul Mitchell. We're waiting on Home Depot. Kenna, have you heard back from them?
I emailed them, but I haven't heard back.
Okay, I texted her earlier too and haven't heard back.
It takes her a while.
Yeah.
Sally, I have
She's
one more
awesome.
question.
Yes.
About face painters. Where do we get these face painters?
Well, this gal is actually out of Salt Lake. I think she's in Draper.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because there's a lot of face painters that I don't accept.
Mhm.
So it's possible that
Oh.
instead of
Higher than.
instead of them being part of the boutique, they can be part of your.
Be part of that.
Yeah.
I looked last year at a few different people, a different balloon tire and different, trying to find someone more central to Orem.
Right.
Someone from Orem. And, I mean, this gal has just she's done it for years here, and she's so good, and she knows how to just do something quick. Sometimes we
Okay.
remind them to be quick. So, I don't know, I've got
Just
good
reach out
experience with her, so
Totally
I,
fine.
I was gonna say that same thing could be a problem, that if they're coming from boutiques, they
Yeah.
might be a little too elaborate.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True.
well, and this gal does do it for a living. I mean, she has a business doing
Right,
it.
right.
I mean, but
And
they might not be used to doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she's done it for 10 years.
Yeah.
now.
Right.
Okay.
So,
That's fine.
And then Wiggy Wash. Oh, the kids loved that.
Oh, yes.
They loved that. It was a bigger hit than I had any idea.
Yeah.
They really enjoyed that. And juggle nuts. Again, I know they're semi-retired, but they're
You want to do it?
they'll do it as long as we ask them to do it. Is the bottom line. As long as we're okay with them and okay with them dropping a few.
I was gonna say, who would say, no, they're gonna drop it a little bit.
They were dropping a few, but they're great.
He's like
They're so
67 now.
They're pretty.
Bren is.
yeah.
They're entertaining.
So I
Are
think
there other jugglers that we could get?
I don't
I'm
know
sure.
really. I mean, there probably are some, but
yeah.
if they want to, I mean, there's the ease of just working with these people that they know us, they know the crowd,
Yeah.
they know the agreement process and all that. I mean, it just makes that.
Yeah. And their price, I
Is
mean,
really good.
they only charge like $100. Yeah, their price is really good. They give us a good deal. So I think that's about it.
Okay, thank you. John.
Hi, this is John. Steve and I met or talked to Amy from Rev Road, and they're going to be our major sponsor, so we're excited about that. Steve and I are going to work out the details.
Maybe really quick if I could, just Rev Road is a company that has, so last year this company reached out to us. They actually connected through Mark at UVU, and they wanted to do a car show at the city. It's just a city park. So we did one for them, and they said, hey, we'd really love to partner and do something bigger. And our response was, we already do a big car show, but if you want to partner with us on ours, i.e. if you want to be a sponsor for ours, we'd love to kind of work together. And so this year they kind of took their resources that they'd put into that. They're going to give us a $3,500 sponsorship to be kind of the headline of kind of the, have naming rights, if you will. They call it the Rev Road Rally, but they also are going to bring in additional volunteers, additional vehicles, a helicopter, and some other things that they have connections to through their business, and then work with John to just kind of supplement and enhance our car show and bring the additional resources. And they're honestly so good to work with. They're just really, really good people.
Are we still doing it in the midweek?
Yeah, we'll still do that that one night, barbecue.
That was fabulous.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay.
So sorry, John, I didn't mean to take, I just wanted
No,
to talk about
that's
Rev
fine.
Road a little
That's
more.
fine. And Tim's in charge of the weather. But no, I think we had 125 cars, which was good. I think we can get about 25 to 50 more this year. The one thing JC would like to have, if possible, is he was our DJ. He brought the trailer and the music, but he'd like to give away more sponsorships or more, what am I trying to say? Announcing
Prizes?
sponsors, promoting prizes and that type of thing. So if anybody has any ideas on that, he can give away hundreds of different prizes and stuff like that. We might even want to talk to some of the vendors, and they can get some stuff that we can give away to promote over there, something like that. So I can work with them on that. But overall, I thought it went really well. T-shirts, we're going to do T-shirts again this year. Okay. I thought that worked out really well. And so bounce houses, still doing the same thing.
We're still, yeah. So we've been considering the bounce house. Nobody got hurt, but that was a miracle in and of itself. It was pretty tense, but we do need to have something for the kids to be able to play on, because the lines get a little long waiting for food, and the cars aren't necessarily the kids' thing.
Yeah.
Nor do the owners of the car really want those to become the kids'
Right.
thing.
Right.
And so we've talked about a couple things. One, we had one electric train. We've talked about getting multiple electric trains so that line goes faster.
Yeah.
And then we will have some type of games for the kids, but whether it will be the bounce. So anyways, I'm sorry I'm rambling on this, but one of the issues we've had is our risk manager doesn't like the really tall ones, like the big like slides and ladders, which is understandable. The only thing that's nice about those is you can see the kid the entire time. So instead we opted for obstacle courses, but that's where all the kids go in and get lost and you can't see the kids. So there's kind of risks both ways. There's the risk of it blowing over when it's high. There's the risk of kids getting hurt more likely when it's low. So we need to work on that a little more, but we know we need to have something for the kids because that's what it'll make it kind of something for the whole family.
I found a couple companies that do have those train cars or whatever, so we can use them. Maybe.
Yeah.
one's, well, I'll let you know who they are, so that'd be good. So other than that, I thought it was good. Again, there's a lot of room in there, in that park to fill. And I think Tim, we're okay with layout
So far.
so far.
Are you doing the hot dog dinner again?
Yep.
I would say we gave them too many choices with picking their chips and picking their dessert. I would streamline that to maybe 2 choices. I just thought there was too many choices.
No, we agree.
And so
agree
that
with
would be
that.
my
You
feedback.
did a good job though, by the way, doing the hot dogs.
Creating all the different choices. Yeah, you know, the choices were Trader Joe's wanted to give us a bunch of cookies, and I think in their mind they're thinking, oh, we'll just give you a bunch of different kinds. But yeah, we recognize that. I think just a couple different types of chips, one type of cookie, maybe 2.
Yeah.
I agree with you. We hear that for sure.
Well, then people were trading and this, and I'm like, just move along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Or you
anyways,
could have like just the line for the hot dogs, and then different tables for, you know, the chips
Oh,
table.
yeah.
So then they can just come and grab, you know, and have somebody manning it, obviously.
Yep.
But just ease instead of the long line, and just have the line for a hot dog.
Or at least have the hot dog line first.
Because the hot
and then
dogs were going
after-
fast. We were
Yeah.
ready for people
yeah,
waiting.
you're right. You're right.
With them just like, come on, like get to
Yep.
us. So
No, that's good feedback for sure.
just a thought.
And then Steve, if you and I and Pete can get together, I'd like to get this on the calendar with J.C. Hackett, the car show. And that would be good just to promote it. I would have to get with Rev Road and make a design or logo.
Oh yes,
So
yes.
that's-
Now we have the date, which will be June 10th.
Right.
Okay,
I've got
and
that
then
locked in.
okay, perfect.
So if I can get that maybe by February, we can get that on the calendar, and that really helps a lot.
Because I'll just depend on what Reverend wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet they have the designers that probably.
Yeah, have them do everything.
Yeah.
Just, you know, should
They'd
have
like to have them do it, takes credit.
Yeah, so we did it. He did it. I did it. He did it. Okay.
Okay.
I think that's about it. Thank you.
So you've got El Pollo Loco sponsoring. What does that
I
mean?
don't know who that.
Oh, they just give away some meals and stuff for winners. They're part of these giveaways.
Oh,
Oh, and then they're
giveaways.
giving cash this time too.
Okay, giveaways. Okay.
That's right.
They're not doing giveaways, they're just giving $500 this year.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So are we using that for general, or are we gonna buy prizes, or are we gonna?
Well, we can have as many sponsors on an event as we want. The Rev Road is the lead sponsor, and they knew that we had other sponsors on the event in the past, and they were open to having them. They just wanted top billing.
But I think we can definitely consider some of this additional money for prizes if we need to.
Okay.
And we'll use it to enhance additional electric trains and stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Kat, do you want us to come back to you?
What?
Sorry.
Cat.
I'm looking at
I'm
Liz.
Liz.
Sorry.
Go Cat.
Kat, do you, go ahead. Sorry, I'm looking at Liz.
We
Sorry,
traded
Liz.
seats.
Sorry, Liz.
So, the Rotary Breakfast went really good last year. And thanks for emptying trash. Hospitality tent. What
That was
did
great.
everybody think?
More dilly bars.
It was amazing.
Ran out.
It was
It
wonderful.
really was
It was
good.
good.
It was so good.
We'll need to coordinate food better on the pickup so we're not running through the parade route like we were and blocking parking stalls.
It was awesome. It was good.
But I'll just work
We're
with
working
you.
on getting food sponsors
Okay.
right now.
Is that it,
Awesome.
Kat?
What did you have?
No, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Nope.
Good?
Good.
Okay. Do we have anything
Oh,
from?
I
go
did
ahead.
have one question. Ice. You had a friend with a freezer last year
We
that
can
we
probably ask him
used.
for that again.
Okay. And then water we got from Timpanogos Hospital.
Right.
Are we gonna have that again this
Most
year?
likely, I haven't asked him.
I'm sure
but
we
I
will.
Okay. That was my other 2 questions.
Do we have anything from Nathan?
Nathan couldn't be here tonight, but do you want to talk about the new venue, J.Teresa? That we went and saw?
Oh yeah, we went to. I was like, how long ago was that? So we went to an elementary school.
Yeah, so Centennial
There you
Elementary.
go.
the
We
new
went
one.
to Centennial. It's a very beautiful school, and so the spot. I think it'll Nate said it'll work great. He said he was gonna go visit on his own, so I didn't hear back from that, but we all thought it would be a great area. They were all very friendly and helpful. They said they would have somebody there the day of the contest, but they just asked us to kind of block off an area so people don't go upstairs and into other areas. The washrooms are really close, so I think it'll be great, and it's a nice big open space.
Why not the high school again? Was
The
there?
ACTs. So last year,
Oh,
because
yes,
of how the
yes.
weeks fell, there was no ACT conflict, but it will be this year, and it has been years past. So
And they have, since it's in this open space, they have a stage, an area for people to be able to set up and get ready. So I think it's a really good space.
I think there'll be a lot of interest for people just seeing the new school too. I
Right.
think that'll be a positive thing. It's
What it
really-
used to be called?
Sarah Park.
Oh, so they switched it.
Yeah, that's on the side of Sarah
They
Park.
combined Hillcrest and Sarah,
Oh,
but they
okay.
didn't want to use one of the same names to,
That's kind of interesting.
so they created the no name.
And then anything else with the baby contest, Pete?
No, it'll be pretty much the same, just new venue.
Oh, maybe if I could, one other thing. We did meet with the Freedom Festival who helps us with it. And they did have kind of a request for me. Their board has kind of come to them saying, what are all the events we're part of and are we getting our fair share? So they did actually ask for a request on 50% of profits, if you will, like revenue minus expenses. It ends up being a couple $1,000s. But
Reasonable.
one of our bigger sponsors is the director of the Freedom Festival. So we feel like keeping him happy by making this deal is probably in our best interest.
It was.
Yeah. So anyways, it's not a big deal, and the relationship with them has been pretty good. So we'll make that work.
Okay, thanks. Kiersten.
Okay. Steven and Kenna have been so busy. They always make me look so good. So we will be using the university, the Orchard area again for the kickoff event. And they've been working on making arrangements to have Charlotte, Blake, Aston, which we talked about last time, and you're just waiting for signatures back on the document, right?
Yep.
Okay. And so everybody's been great coming together and bringing that. And how does that work? I had a question. How does that work financially for our budget? Like, do we say, like, do you add up those costs for the hotel and car? Well, the hotel is a sponsor, but the car and
Yeah, so we used to pay, I can't remember how much we paid last year for Antonio.
$1,500.
$1,500. So basically what we decided was, with this one, because BYU's piggybacking, is we're only paying $500 instead of $1,500. That $1,000 is going to be what we need to make up the difference. So
Okay, so we're good.
we'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and I've been working on bands, and I should hear back next week. If everybody, unless someone has something negative to say, I think that we're looking at using Mississippi Mood, which is a swing band, and it's made up of retired musicians and retired music professors, and anyways, they perform at the Storytelling Festival. They perform at a lot of different places, so they're good. And I think they do that 30s, 40s, and 50s music, which I think is pretty broad, and it'll be a little different than what we did last year. And so I think we're good there. And then Kenna has secured bars for ice cream again. That's so exciting.
He was our first person to get back.
Really?
Besides Red Roll.
Did he see that was beneficial for him?
He didn't say much, but he didn't seem as on range. He didn't seem as on range. I think he must have thought that was good.
Well, I know the
From
company
record.
gave him a great support because they scooped everything. They supplied all the paper goods
It
for
worked
them.
out
It worked so good.
And so he just had to go up and pick it up and bring it down and deliver, pass it out. And they were awesome about it.
Yeah.
They were so great.
It's good. It was good ice cream.
So, anyways, I think it's probably just stressful the first time you're doing something like that, and not knowing what's happening is probably played into.
I think I know that they, had wanting to make this store work, because they had just taken over right about the same time we had
That's right.
them. And so I think they were trying to make sure it was valuable, and they came back, so I'm sure it's been valuable too.
That's great. That's great. Well, we're happy to have them.
Kiersten, a small, just little
Yes.
logistic, interesting thought on The food is usually set up a little early. We have a start time. Last year we had the line, and there were some issues with, because we had made a mistake of publishing some wrong times. But even when we decide on our time, we could probably write something in there saying that the food will be basically when people start showing up. There ended up being plenty of ice cream, so when people start showing up, do we just start serving?
People were there before I got there.
Yeah.
And asking me where their chairs were. That's something we need to remember and include.
Okay.
Because I think for some people that's not clear, because the Sierra Shell, they go there and there's chairs or whatever.
Yes.
So we need to just be clear and
Bring
say
your
something
chair.
about bring your blankets and chairs.
I like that.
So that, because we had sweet, older couples that were there and wanted to have a good spot and they had to go home. And when you're older, it's hard
Yep.
Yeah.
to do all of that negotiating and
You're
walking
right.
back and forth from the car. So I'm trying to think, I was there maybe an hour and a half before.
Yeah.
I could probably look at my notes. I was there pretty early and we had people there waiting.
Yeah. For ice cream.
So you say, whatever you
Well,
say.
I'm just trying to think, because as at some of these events we let the line start building up because you don't want to start till a certain time, but all of those people are going to get it. There's something nice about just keeping that line so it never really gets that long. To an extent, right? To the
Right.
point that it's fair.
So one concern is that FARs have to show up and be there, and I don't know what that dynamic looks like for them. And then I need to also be able to schedule my volunteers for that. So we do at some point need to make a decision about it. We did run out of ice cream. It wasn't terrible. I mean, we did run out at some point.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it was around 7:30 by the time the storyteller was starting. So it took an hour to go through. What did they have, 1,000 scoops?
1,000.
Um,
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody think on that.
We'll work through that.
We can decide later. There is one question we have about the venue. So last year, and actually Jared from the mall, he approached me about this and said, we'll honor this and respect it for you. And I just want to run it past people that were there that night, and especially Pete, I think you were sitting over there, but the next day was the Princess Festival, and so they had started setting up the night before. They were setting up before we got there. Did you see any issues with that? Do you have people? I know I had some people asking me what was going on there, and they were trying to look in it, and the gal that was protecting it was a little bit uptight. I don't know, but I'm sure she was stressed about it, So they just said that he will tell them they can't set up until the 9th if we don't want them to be there. I know we could have probably used the pergola for, what did you guys have set up there? You had the puzzles. We'll have the storyteller will have things to sell too. So
And then we were pre-selling tickets, the carnival tickets.
Okay. So we have every I don't want to say right, but we do to say no, that's our time and we don't want to share it. Is that okay, or if I say that?
I think that's reasonable. Just say they can set up as soon as we're done.
It avoids the confusion.
They can start filling their font late at night or early in the morning or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think that's everything about that. And then I just have the Spirit Award. So I'm sure you all heard, sadly, that Jerry passed away and Neilani is fighting cancer. So I thought to myself, just like how timely that was that they were chosen this last year. Anyways, just a little side note on that. So submissions need to be done this month and we vote next month, is that correct? Or not we, but whoever votes. A decision's made in February. And I wasn't really involved in that process last year, so if anybody has something to say about that, I'm
Mark
open.
Seastrand. Oh.
And so here's the one question I did have is...
He wants to do one more parade.
And this is a way he could
He can go with me and buy in my car, pass out candy.
Okay.
So I know that there's like the Orem Spirit Award, there is some criteria that it's based on? Is that correct?
Yeah, someone who we feel, and I don't know how specific this is, but embodies Orem values: goodwill, friendship, service, community spirit.
So is that something that you post online and people? Okay,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
have you
people
already
submit.
done that?
No, we haven't. Are you?
Well, I was just thinking like about our theme for this year, and I didn't know if that was like if we could lean more towards that. People that have, trying to see if I wrote it in my notes. I'm not really good at remembering. Just like that they've been great at helping make Orem feel like a place where people belong. That they,
That's a good idea.
I don't know. I like that.
That's a good idea to make the theme more impactful to people.
Yeah.
And not just something they're gonna read on a float.
So that's just a thought I had.
Mhm.
And I can email you a couple thoughts about it
Yeah,
if
I like that.
that I
idea.
had. Okay. Oh, and then we just needed to know, like, where have we decided where we're going to present the awards, and then the recipients. What events do I need to let them know that they're invited to attend? You know, it as an honorary position.
So in the past, we've done it on, well, last year we did it minus Jerry because of the that whole situation that came up with Jerry. But I would think Monday night, we just presented to a Monday night, and then I think the parade would be the only other thing we would
Okay.
need to be at. Is that, Peter, you thinking of anything else?
Unless you know,
The
we want to
dinner.
invite to dinner.
Dinner.
Oh, the dinner, yes, the dinner.
Okay.
Which is the date,
June 5th.
June 5th.
Okay.
Yes.
Might be in a pavilion, but it's June 5th. Just kidding.
Well, maybe, I mean, we had a location lined up, and then as it was going through our agreement process, somebody who knew both situations actually pointed out that they're not in compliance with some of our city codes, that they're trying to get them fixed. So they thought it probably wouldn't be best to be using their venue when we know we have issues on the safety of the building.
Okay.
So until that gets fixed, we probably can't use it. Now, they might fix it. If not, we're talking about some other locations, so.
Okay.
Shade. Off Geneva Road.
Is that everything?
That's everything I have. Yeah.
Do we have anything for student marshals? Have we started that process?
So Andres was gonna take that on, so we
Right.
haven't, but we know that process and we'll work through that. We have already talked to Wiener Schnitzel for the hot dog eating competition.
Yeah,
They're
and I
in.
reached out to Village Jenkins today.
Okay.
And he's back.
But we anticipate Village Inn probably being in. So those ones, we're good. We can, well, again, we'll start advertising for a new commission member, and then, but we can start publishing things or emailing people about student marshals early if we need to.
And John, did Catherine say anything to you?
About
Pool
About
party,
the
chess.
pool party.
pool party, let me ask questions on that. I think we were short a little bit on ice cream last year. I think we were trying to,
I felt like we were like
or were we over?
giving
Those
them
are
out
too much.
last year.
Maybe
We
we
had
were
too much
giving
last
out,
year.
so,
We just need the royalty not to, we need to
yeah, okay.
worry about the
Rein 'em in.
pay.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
make sure they're not coming out to give them, they need to stay back.
Yeah. So I don't know what the number counts. I guess we're gonna meet with, are you gonna talk to Derek Clark?
I reached out to him, haven't heard back yet. He's hard, he's really busy,
Very-
so
Yeah.
he's one of the last people we usually get.
Very
You know, it's
difficult to
good.
get hold of.
Yeah. So,
But I think for the,
Didn't Catherine get through to him last year?
she did, I
I
don't,
feel
but I
like she
think
was the one that like got through to her.
yeah,
Yeah.
somebody gave her the contact, but yeah,
Yeah.
so that
She
worked out
secured
good.
that for us actually.
Now, as far as the chess tournament, you know what? We didn't have a clue what we were doing last year until your guy came in.
Yeah,
The
Nate.
intern. Can he come back?
yeah, we hired him, not for the chess tournament.
But let's ask him.
We hired him
Let's
for
ask him.
something. We did tell him that that's part of the commitment.
Yeah.
Okay.
He agreed.
The guy's amazing.
Economic development analyst / chess tournament.
Oh, it's our
coordinator.
intern.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
and he's an artist too.
And he honestly loved he likes being a part of it.
He
So
liked it, yeah.
he's
Did a
in.
good job.
Good.
He's in. Have you talked to the chess person?
Yeah, the one thing on that is they didn't have enough boards, so
No.
I don't know what we can do about that. If we can buy some boards,
How many more do you think they need?
20.
Do we need the pieces too?
Yeah, I like the sets, the chess sets.
Probably gets
Now, doesn't
pretty
the
cheap.
library have a bunch of sets?
They have some,
Not a bunch.
not a bunch.
Is that in her?
Because I mean, what was the
What?
number?
Is that
Like
in
80?
perk
Was it
or
80?
just?
Yeah, there was
just have
a
a
library
way bigger
itself.
turnout
That
tonight.
they do like-
Bring no
It's
Yeah,
just
like
We all do
the teen night in.
Maybe
So-
ask them if
You
they
have to
could
share
bring their own chessboards.
We
That's what,
sing
that
it.
wasn't part of the
Yeah,
advertising
that was
last year.
part of it
Oh,
as well,
okay.
yeah.
Okay,
So, yeah, so I think we're in good shape there.
okay.
That'd be great.
Sorry, Liz, now it's your turn.
Now it's my turn.
Sorry.
Okay, so we've started Parade Cloud, which is going to be the new way we're going to manage the parades. And the applications are open, but I've checked it like every day, and we don't have any applications yet, besides the ones that you put in.
Have we emailed the old participants? Recent participants? We've emailed them directly.
Yeah, it's on social media, but we'll continue to do
Okay.
it.
And then I need to get from you, I guess, a binder that Sean left, or notes or stuff, because she said that she left lots of notes and things.
That was lost in the fire.
We'll just start from scratch.
No, my guess is that's in the Heidi stuff.
You know, it probably is.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So.
Okay, we will find what information we have.
So I think that's kind of where we're at right
Okay.
now.
And you can always ask Pens when if you don't.
Because you guys did it before Sean did, right?
Yeah, 6
Okay.
years.
Okay, maybe I want to touch base with you then, because she had some ideas. We've been Marco Poloing, so she had some ideas and some that maybe I want to try, maybe some that I don't. But I'd love to hear some of your ideas too. So maybe we can party sometime.
Liz, there's probably 3 sponsors that have parade entries. They don't always take them, so
Okay.
I usually wait till the end and then we figure out
Okay.
if they want them or not.
Okay. And then we're, so just so that I'm understanding, there's 100 entries, and that
Yes.
is what we do?
Correct.
Okay. So I had some thoughts about the biggest complaint that we always hear from on social media is about the length of the parade and how crowded it gets. So are we at all interested in considering trying to move the parade down farther? One thought that I had was that, at least for this year, just south of Costco is those empty parking lots, and that would give us another half a mile of parade if we move the staging area to down there.
I thought they were building.
Well, right now it's just empty. Right now they're empty parking lots, and eventually they are going to build there, but it's been empty parking lots for years. Yeah, I think that's where they're going to put that Hale Theater. So I don't know if that's something worth considering, an option. If that's
You're closing down another major street.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Your 8 south, 8 east closed down again. That's my pitch.
And really where we need the extra space is at City Center.
So it really wouldn't help at all.
But,
But at the beginning?
I mean, it's hard to say, but I don't think so.
I mean, I think some would. The hard part is, so many just want to be right next to where all the other action is. That
Right.
because we have, there's people there's capacity when you get closer to the beginning.
One thought we had is
I think the
going
extra interaction.
vertical down at City Center Park, or getting more bleachers, so that
Okay.
you're stacking people,
Uh-huh.
with a better use of the space. I don't know what bleachers cost to rent a piece.
For that one we get right now.
How much do we pay in fencing total, would you say?
Fencing I got for a little over 1,000.
Total?
For that one set we got.
Okay.
That one was-
That church is nice for the floats, though.
Uh-huh.
That's probably your best float place.
Okay.
If you push it down, it just makes it harder getting
Okay.
closer to the ball.
Maybe I shouldn't try and change anything in my first year doing it. I shouldn't make big changes.
That's probably a good idea, and then see what you think.
Yeah.
Go with the tried and true.
Well, I think, and like I kind of mentioned, I think sometimes, I mean, the discussion is good of what do we do? Because this is a complaint every year, and so whether it's even an educational component or something else. I do think another intersection being closed would be a really
Bad idea.
tough thing to sell, yeah.
Okay.
But
Did we have
I think this seems to be better.
candy complaints again? Because I mean, I was anal about making sure we were closed and making the kids go back, but did we have any?
I think you guys
I
were
hate
the
it.
worst at throwing it out.
Not me.
What would you say, Nancy?
I hate it.
No, we had
It gives me anxiety. Like, I used to love the parade. I took my kids to it. Last year was so much for me. I was like, can't go anymore. I'm done. There's too many people. I mean, the candy brings the kids into the center and nobody gets out of the street. It's dangerous.
Oh, I yell.
And I hate it.
We stayed at the VIP tent just because the first year we went to the parade, we had people tripping over my daughter's wheelchair. We had people falling on her.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, nope.
It
not
just,
again.
I mean,
So
and
we
I don't know
stay at
where
the VIP tent
everywhere
now.
it is, but right there, it's bad. It's
Okay,
bad.
so-
There was at one point, like, I went into the street last year and I was like, get back, like, seriously, because it was driving me crazy. I was just like, guys, it's a piece of candy. I will buy you a bag. Like,
Well, and it's not just kids.
no, it's not. There were adults that would
Where
plant
I was
themselves.
watching the parade last year, and I've been watching the parade for 25 years, last year was the worst it ever was, and it
Ever.
was, the biggest problem is parents don't control their kids.
Yeah.
The police would walk by and say, you know, get him back, and as fast as the policeman turned his back and went, they
were
were
right
back
in the
out
middle.
there. It was
Mhm.
bad last year. It really
But
was.
but what's bringing him out there?
The candy.
So I had a thought. We discussed having volunteers walk the edges of the parade. What if we started you know how last year we did the big social media about don't put your blankets out, and no one put their blankets out?
Yeah, they did.
So I thought, what if we said a big social media, like we took like some staged pictures of candy hander-outers, and we said, look for the candy hander-outers, and we had them have shirts that said, you know, official candy distribution or something,
Totally fine.
and they have
That'd
to,
be
and
fine.
then make sure that the volunteer stays on that white line, and then, you know, and then warn people ahead of time, look for the candy people.
Yeah.
So would the floats still have some candy, but this is just kind of an extra incentive?
My thought is that the floats would have to turn in their candy to be passed out by the candy passer
By the
outers.
candy passer out.
That's not a bad idea.
I like that.
And then just
much
keep
better.
the, you know,
Because
and
that's
then,
the only thing
and then
bringing the
every, you know,
kids.
like
It's
30
dangerous.
feet,
It's
there could be
horrible.
another
And
volunteer.
then everyone's sitting there and they have planted themselves since 7 a.m., you know, and then there's like 6 rows now in front of them.
Well, and like we could
candy.
ask volunteers, but I don't know if you want to get that many more volunteers. Or we could just say when we contact the parade entries, you have to provide 2 people to hand out candies, one for each side of the road.
That's
each float has
beautiful.
2 candy, has 2 people, and they have their official candy passer outer shirts.
And walks close to the
And they walk
gutters
right on that
or
white
whatever.
line.
Yeah.
You stay on the white line. That is your job.
I'm
Oh,
totally
and they
behind
still
that.
kind of walk alongside their
Yeah, you just stay next to their own float, so every
Oh.
single entry would
See,
have
I
candy
loved
passer
Cooks.
outers.
Cook was it Cooks last year that actually had their like caution tape out?
Yeah.
Like, don't get close to us, but we'll come to you.
Uh-huh.
You know, and I loved that. Like I was
Uh-huh.
like, move aside, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hand this out still, but you can't come by our
Uh-huh.
float. And I liked that.
Yeah, and if we have a lot of warning ahead of time, like let the public know, like look for the people who are passing out candy, look for the
Or even-
special
or
like
even
orange shirt or whatever.
toss it up and over
Yeah,
so they're
toss
not
it, but just
running to the
Toss
to
it
the
from
red
red.
That's what I
line.
was gonna say, pass it to
Yeah.
those who are standing back.
Yeah, the kids at your feet, but also chuck it, you know, to the people back there.
But I don't like.
I'm
throwing
totally,
it in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm totally on board with that. I just hate
Oh,
the
yeah.
candy
That's a
coming
good
from the
idea.
floats. I hate
Yeah.
it.
They have been carrying the
Yeah.
signs in the past, because all we can get to carry the signs.
Right?
Yeah, we gotta be able to get the Orem missionaries to do that, and people love missionaries and parades.
Will there be enough though to have
Yeah,
2
yeah.
per?
There's
Get them all
a
in.
million.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna need more,
Not
because
for me.
because we did a float with Habitat for several years,
Uh-huh.
and we had probably 10 passer outers from our float, but that's just not enough, so you're gonna need more
Okay.
you're gonna need a substantial amount, more than just
What if
one,
up
two.
to the feet?
But still having the missionaries hold the banners.
Yeah.
Okay, and then just additional missionaries.
Or other
Okay.
volunteers,
Okay.
scout troops or whatever.
Okay.
That would require the businesses to provide their own candy out.
Absolutely. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
That'll be a challenge.
Oh, man.
If you didn't get enough,
So minimum of 2, but as many as they can provide to pass out their candy. And then not every entry is gonna have candy. Like the high schoolers are not gonna have
Yeah.
candy. Well, actually, they usually do.
I mean, if they do bring candy, then bring 2.
Whoever brings candy has to bring people to pass them out.
Yeah.
And then I
6
think
per, 3 on
you
each
almost
side.
need a training
Well,
right before.
if you have floats coming down, then I mean, you're gonna have multiple candy people. I mean, you don't need
Yeah.
3 per, because then you're gonna have a lot of candy going out.
just of the people who are handing it out though. Like not every float will have candy.
Right.
Yeah.
So whoever does, if they just have their kind of people spaced out a little
Yeah.
bit.
Well, I would think they would need at least 2 or 3 on each side, because I imagine they're going to have to carry that. They're going to be walking.
they're gonna go fast.
They're going to throw it really fast, and they're going to have to go back and refill someone else.
Someone else has to take their spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna need to run this by city council, because some of the councilmen are very passionate about their candy giving out.
And we're very passionate about it not coming.
But they have family and they have supporters that would, you know, like
I'm telling you.
Then have them do a trick or treat on Halloween, and they can pass out their candy.
Popularity.
It is, but it's horrible. It's
Really need to
dangerous.
look at deeply, because this is gonna end up one year being like the cannon thing.
Yep.
One year, somebody's gonna get hurt bad, and it's really gonna bite us. So they really need to evaluate it, really.
And I'm willing to run that up. I'm telling you, there's a few, including the mayor, who are very passionate about giving out their candy.
But do you think they would be like? Do you think the mayor and the city council would be okay having volunteers? They give it and they have official like
I don't
pass
think
around
I don't think they
things,
care what they do behind them, to tell you the truth.
But just them themselves,
themselves.
they want to chuck it into the crowd.
But most of them walk.
Yeah.
Most of
So
them
they
walk.
could be the candy hander.
They could be it. You could make them up buttons.
City Council, thank you.
They get an official candy pass around button.
Pass-arounders.
The new job of the city council.
I'm just saying, let's talk through this, work through this, and then I'll run it up the pipe.
Great. Thank you.
I can't guarantee anything, trust me. Sometimes they're like herding cats. But we have new guys, so maybe they'll be okay. Who knows?
Just say risk management.
Yeah, risk
Can we
management.
join us?
Baby.
Okay, that's all I've got. That's it.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move over to staff
Just,
reports.
just so you guys are, we got a message to our city's Facebook page just right now saying, do you need any more volunteers for Summerfest
Yes.
committee? So we actually have somebody right while we're in this meeting wanting to do it.
Okay, sweet. Well, the floor is yours, Stephen.
I'll just speak to the carnival. I got an email. We'll be doing the pre-sale of tickets again. That went really well. And there was really never a big line at the carnival to buy tickets, I think because of it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what percentage of our tickets were sold pre-sale, but I want to say it was like 30 or 40% of all.
Did we ever figure out the Ferris wheel problem? Was that a power problem? Or
Yeah, they hadn't flipped the switch on their generator.
Stop it.
So yeah, that's
That's a
what
brand
it
new
was.
generator, so trying to figure out all.
That was it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
that's
that.
really funny.
It was that.
I'm not going to
make
make
a
a comment,
But-
but hopefully they'll figure they figured it out.
I don't disagree. I will say overall it was much.
Oh, it was much better.
Much better.
Well, and the shade. Make sure they bring that again. That was awesome.
What was this?
They brought shade, and they had like canopies and benches and stuff
Oh,
in shade.
okay. I
They had
didn't
like
notice
made
that.
little waiting areas for parents
Okay.
throughout the carnival. It was
Very
awesome.
nice.
It was good.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
same
loved
carnival
it.
again, right?
What?
Sorry.
Same carnival?
Checked
Same
out
carnival for a
second.
couple more years, and much better to work with this year. We had the revenue share, which was about $7,000, and
Did they make more overall? Do you know if that was a...
yeah, they did. They raised their fee.
Okay.
I mean, our revenue share was based out of their fee, but we had ratcheted them down to 75 cents a ticket, which was, I mean, good in one way, but they said that if we could up it to $1, they would share revenue, which again the revenue is built into that extra 25 cents. But their biggest thing was not having their people have to try to count in 25-cent increments, right? They're just 5 tickets, $5. It made it much easier to move people through the line.
Yeah, I agree. Dollar's
So-
good.
Yeah.
The biggest problem was getting people here to work.
What's that?
Remember they had that issue in Mexico
Yeah, there's been some issues with bringing workers from across the border, which is how they
the
generally.
day before.
Yeah, they were literally flying people in that night
Yeah.
to Salt Lake and picking them up so that they could work the next morning. So, but they were set up in time. They were cleaned up, I think, much faster.
Good.
So, yeah,
That's crazy.
she did a
just
good
see
job.
Anthony-
So, anyway,
Anthony
same carnival company.
Stuff for all.
I don't think we'll even start pre-selling tickets until. I mean, we sold very, very few until the week, maybe 2 weeks before. So we probably won't start even selling tickets until sometime.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's all I got.
Okay, Kenna.
So I've contacted all the Summerfest sponsors from last year, and now I'm contacting them individually. So this is about their third or fourth contact, because that's what it takes. So people that I have done stuff with, everyone has their sponsorship paper. A couple that came after I did the paper, Mullen and Hoover will do the awards, the Spirit Awards, the plaques, everything like that. And then Intermountain Medical Group, Sallie, will sponsor. And they want their booth again, which is fine because they give tons and tons of kid swag. So we'll need another booth for them like they did last year.
Which one?
Intermountain Medical Group, the doctors.
Okay.
So.
Do I need to connect with them at all, or are you?
No, I think
Okay.
they're fine. We'll just
Okay.
make sure they have a booth, but they came in as a sponsor, so those were the two that came in after. If you have anybody you want me to contact, just let me know. He made some great brochures, which I should have brought, I forgot. But we're working on that. Appreciation dinner will be June 5th. We're looking at the Nordis Center right now at EVU as a potential location. And the governor may or may not be there depending on, he's gonna be out of town depending on if he gets back into town, but that was the best date for him. And so we're working on, depending on the location, it'll be depend on where we get the food from and that kind of thing, so we're working through that. And we'll probably award the marshal and the student marshals there.
That sounds good.
And not We can do the Spirit Awards at yours, but we'll do the Marshes at.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. That will make it so it's not so bad.
Anything else?
Oh.
Okay.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Reed?
In regards to budget, the budget, we haven't finalized the budget, don't have one ready for, wait, did we? No, we didn't approve one at the last one. But just plan on spending what your budget was last year. If you have any questions about what it was, I can provide that information to you. We operate kind of as a big fund. We've got events that make money, such as food vendors and the boutiques. We need them to make the amount of money that we expect them to make because we're counting on spending that money for other events like the children's crafts or the fencing that we get and other expenses. So plan on so those events that spend money, plan on spending what you had last year. If you need more, let J.Teresa know, let Steven know, so that it can be considered and to make sure that we will have funds to pay for that. So if you happen to be an event that makes money and spends money, spend what we tell you to spend and make what we expect you to make.
He's so reasonable. Gee.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
I just in a dino. No, I'm just kidding.
We raised $21,150 today.
That's great.
I think last year we raised around 70, so.
We got some time. We have some work to do.
The biggest vendor, the biggest sponsor is always the.
Vivid?
Yes.
It's a little early to know for sure, but for this early planning stage, just plan on spending what you had last year. If sponsorship money doesn't come in like we expect, then we're gonna have to cut the budget. It's like, life.
Can cut staff?
But we don't anticipate that happening.
Yeah.
But, so
Well,
right
we do
now-
have City Council always has a little bit of contingency. And when I mean that, like, we're gonna have a fireworks show whether Todd Peterson comes through or not. Those kind of things, but, whether we have 2 days of scales and tails.
We're chatting with them next week.
Right. I'm not too worried because she's willing to meet, so that must be, it's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, simple message, spend what we budget, make what we budget, we'll all be happy.
Teach the federal government how to do things.
Okay.
Steve, have we locked in
Tim
the
and Jim.
fireworks yet?
At this moment, everything's the same on my end of it. As of now, at least, it'll always change in a few months and get things going a little more, so.
Okay. Cool.
Quick question on whoever was asking about the craft boutique and the limit of 68.
Yeah, actually.
How important or urgent or necessary would it be what if we could add 12 more, 3 more squares on that?
I would love that. And I think we have the space. That's why we asked last year about the electricity.
Because I
part.
have power kind of in place,
Okay.
but we would have to pull wire to a new power box. We do have one power box left.
Okay.
We would have to rewire, and we could pull wire. It would cost, upwards of $10,000 to do that.
Well, we're up in our
So I don't
fees.
know if that is worth it. I don't know if it brings in enough money, if it helps you enough.
I just
to
feel
make it
like
worth that cost.
there's that space that we just have that one information spot, but there's so much space over there, and
We get a lot of
we're
traffic through that spot.
cramming our boutiques in, and I'm like, if we have 12 more, I say
My
do it.
question would be, what else, I mean, to spend that much money for one event, I don't think that's wise, but were there other events that we would use that for?
Winterfest. And don't even go there. We have 2 more locations on the far east end. One is just southeast of the stage. There is conduit out to that point. It's all set up. We'd have to install the power box, pull the wire out to it. Everything is in the main box, is ready to go. And there is one that is kind of about down where the ticket booth is for the carnival that we could pull from. But each one would cost approaching $10,000 to put power in it. And like I said, I don't know if that cost.
But I mean, as a city council person, is there other events that would use that
Currently, no.
investment?
Yeah, not
right now.
Nor we encourage you to think of
Well, I would tell you, don't do both. Maybe do one.
If not, the Ferris wheel has a generator they're not using.
I could have maybe by the next meeting an exact cost of what it would cost.
I'm not saying no,
Yeah.
but I'm saying
Right.
maybe.
What about a generator? Are there some quiet generators you could even just rent to?
You can get public.
Well, that just kind of loses the space then again, you have a generator
Yeah.
somewhere.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
But what do you get different in your boutiques? Do you get more face paints? Is there enough options to have more
Oh,
spaces?
I turn away a lot of people.
So I'm not doubling up more and more where you have other things
No.
coming in.
Yeah, there's other stuff to put in, for sure. I say you guys,
We'll work on it this
Work
month.
on it,
We'll get a
and
cost.
if
and
it
bring
works,
to
it
the
works.
next
If not-
meeting. I'll talk to Reed a little bit about it.
Can you put ones that
And-
aren't using power down there?
I'll have to use power
Oh,
nights.
Lights. That's right. That's right.
They all use extensive power
Yep.
through the boutiques.
Yeah.
They all-
Is there something that I need to be telling them, like, you can only use blank?
Two outlets
Tell
would
them
be nice.
Vivint will
So it's hard to
supply
say
the
because they all want to
solar.
bring in what they want to bring in.
I
They
know,
don't
and I've been really specific with the no mini
Portable solar.
fridges and those
What would
types
be,
of
Charge 'em
things.
what would be
Power.
really nice is if we could make a requirement that they use LED lights
That would help.
versus incandescent lights.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference
Yeah,
on the power draw.
hey, I'm
Put
willing
that
to
on your
put it in there.
And the last thing we noticed last year was you have a square of 4 and they all put in a surge protector of
Right.
6 and you have
Mhm.
2 outlets that has, now you got 12 plus coming off
Yeah.
that same draw. That's what we're having issues with
Oh,
last
yeah.
year.
Do
We had Sensi plugging in
15 plus, yeah.
16 warmers.
For the
Yeah.
food, we have an extra charge for the additional power.
Yeah,
Do you
sure.
do something like that? Just you're allowed this many outlets. If you use more, there's just a
If you can
surcharge.
control that. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
Yeah, I
that's a
don't
big
know.
problem.
Who's going to be the
I
outlet?
mean, if I say,
Mustafa.
you know,
Exactly.
we're
It's hard to
giving
be
you
the rep,
2,
but, yeah.
and hopefully
Yeah.
a lot of them abide by it. I
Yeah.
know some people will break it.
And
but-
most of them is a phone charger and a light at the end of the day is what they normally
That's-
use.
yeah.
So that's okay, but when you start
Right.
adding everything into it, it definitely starts drawing.
Yeah. Okay, I'll look into that.
Okay. Laura?
If you need volunteers, let's get together and.
See if Vivint has a portable solar system.
Yeah, it's in, right?
That'd be
Okay.
cool.
Thank you. Shelly?
Probably just the same. Kent was gonna arrange the sound.
Yep, we're good. We actually he's extended the offer or whatever to him. So
And so we just need to make sure that we know what time we need the over-the-ear mics on Thursday for the first show. Scales and Tails wanted to use their mics last year, but they're probably just gonna have to use the regular mics, and he stayed last year and then we paid after, so
That's
we'll
right.
probably just contract that ahead of time because it makes sense to have them there when we plug into their
Yep.
equipment, so. Everything else should be about the same. They'll be ready for Orem's Got Talent. They're really good with that. And then the Arts Council will just program groups from the community in throughout the Friday and Saturday schedule.
Okay, thank you. Do we have anything from Jason?
no.
Okay, Pete?
I mean, as you know, we've kind of decided on things. We'll get the magazine going, update the website, get all the applications out, and then just kind of work our way through it, advertising as we go. And today there's a post on Facebook, asking what people would like to see, just getting them excited, to let them know that we're here planning Summerfest 2020. And
Are we allowed to retake our pictures?
Sure.
It took me a year, but I'm ready now.
I just want one
I've
to
lost
instead of
weight, too.
two-face. Or then,
People really like
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I liked yours.
yeah, there was a double.
The flip.
I know, I like it.
flip.
The flip. It was nice.
That was cute.
I like
Good
it.
job.
The infamous
whoever did it.
flip.
Yeah. It was good.
I do have a question. Is
So
the military still involved this year?
I don't think
I
so.
didn't mean to do that.
They didn't actually even come through last year.
Totally fine.
We were talking about them doing their big anniversary or whatever, coming in with helicopters and parading
Oh
around, that
yes,
kind of
yes.
stuff.
I was thinking the military vehicles.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Military vehicles. Yeah, that's a good deal. Good.
Yeah, they are planning to do that 5K along the parade route during while it's closed,
Okay.
and then provide planes for the flyover.
Okay.
And Shane
Fredrickson
Fredrickson-
still doing air med.
The Apache helicopter. Let me just follow up on it. That's what that I forgot about that part.
2 or 3, whatever it takes.
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so Jill gave me a note from Kent said that the carnival is taken care of. Fireworks, it looks like we'll be going with the same company as last year. And then the ATMs will be going through the carnival because Cashman does not want to do it.
Okay.
So, did I miss anything, Joe? Okay. Shane's not here, Heath's not here. Debbie?
Oh,
So-
I will, really quick, Heath is doing the health, the Utah County Health Department's permit. I'm trying to, the mass gathering. And yeah, that's what they call it, the Utah County Health Mass Gathering. Anyways, so Heath is working on that. They told him, come see us in April and we'll get it hammered out. So he's kind of has it all lined up and we'll get it done. So won't have that scare again.
That's good. So I was excited. I lobbied the mayor to keep Summerfest as my council assignment, and he honored that request. So, go mayor. Because I really think we're doing a great job, and this is my passion. So, happy to be of service. I will come to every event I possibly can. I'll judge anything you want. I'll troubleshoot anything you want. I'll talk to angry customers. Just whatever you want me to do. So, it's fun. It's a great event. I think it's what helps make Orem. It's a great family event, and my kids fly from Hawaii. They always come in time. They always ask me when Summerfest is, and they'll plan their flights accordingly because they won't miss it. So, just know it's very important to our family and to me personally. So, and so thank you. Thanks for making it a great event. We couldn't do it without all of you, and glad to have some new people. Shelly will do a great event, and others who first time. So, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Our next meeting is on February 19th. Am I making that up? Yep, February 19th is our next meeting. So please all be ready with any reports that you have. Is there any last minute items? Okay. Jill, how do I do it?
Motion to
adjourn.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion. Ashlie Mann.
I'll second it. Liz Wolf.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Oh, any opposed? I'll get
So,
it.
so this year we actually have a way now for all of our agreements to just be signed electronically through our system. So since we already the same vendors, if you don't mind, I'll go through all the agreements for the last year, update them for new dates, run it by you, and then we can hopefully get these things signed really quick. We'll be done. Because I know counting season comes up by the end.
So I'm,
They kind of come out, but
So
and I
if
don't
there's
know
anything
what you
else
did
we
about the
can
ham
do to
hoppers.
just help
Ham hoppers are people that actually, start.
I can't remember.
Okay, so